All right, SNL live from Spanky's off-season edition. I got to tell you.
Get ready for the Broncos. Wait, never mind.
I got to tell you, I don't know when this disappointment goes away, but you can just kind of feel it. Like it was one thing to feel it on Monday. It was another thing to feel it the next day, and the day after that. But like as you approach and you realize that a New England Patriots team that I think most people feel they should have beat, and a Broncos team with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback is playing in the AFC Championship game, which is a game that you've never been to, you can kind of just feel the pain a little bit.
Stings.
I wasn't trying to be nosy, but Mary and Bruce are my favorite couple, and they're here. And I overheard Mary talking. She's a very positive person. And she said, I usually watch the games after we get back. I usually rewatch the games at least once. She said she can't watch this one.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
She said she can't watch this one.
It's a tough one.
And I think that speaks volumes as to where things are and how I think the fan base is feeling right now.
It was, I mean, it's been a gut punch that hadn't gotten any better if you spent any time on the internet this week. As, you know, everybody and anybody takes their turn at making fun of CJ Stroud for what he failed to accomplish, which is just don't get in the way. And then he massively got in the way, and they had a ton of issues on offense, and they lost a game that was very winnable. And now for a week, we have to wonder, for an off season and for a year now, we have to wonder, is this the right quarterback? Is this the right direction for the franchise? And that was not what we were going to be thinking. We were supposed to be thinking at the end of the season.
See, I'm trying to think positive about this, and I try to think about, could this be a good thing? Like, do we have more of a realistic outlook of what CJ Stroud is? Because I think there's like a certain portion that thinks he's the worst thing ever. Get rid of him. He's awful, terrible, blah, blah, blah. And then there was a portion that was like, he's elite, pay him elite money and figure this out. But we know when you're paying a quarterback elite money, it's tough, especially if he's not elite. And I think we've at least arrived, which is what I've been saying, that CJ Stroud is not elite.
Okay.
Which is fine. Like, I don't think Bo Nix is elite. His team's in the AFC Championship right now. I think Drake May could potentially be elite. So
he was elite this year.
Yeah. I don't think any of the 49ers quarterbacks that have gone to the divisional championship have been elite. I don't think Jalen Hurts was elite. I think Matthew Stafford has a body of work of elite. I don't think Sam Darnold's elite. So I'm saying all that to say, like, maybe now we at least have like a clear picture of when it comes to team building and it comes to the salary cap, which is the decision you have to make once you pay a quarterback, the pie is going to be less for CJ Stroud than maybe we thought. So maybe now you're looking at like the Baker Mayfield, Darnold, $30 million to where you can still invest in the defense, which is going to be elite, and it's going to continue to be elite. So maybe you get a little bit clearer picture. Now, I know what you're about to say. You got to hope that the worst is behind us, but with all this stuff and everything going on, it makes you wonder if it is or not.
Yeah, you're talking about the slice of pie for CJ's maybe smaller. I'm still trying to figure out if they should serve CJ the pie or if somebody else should get the piece of the pie. I think that's what 2026 is about. It's not about 2025 was supposed to be about determining how much CJ makes. And I feel like, to me, it's reframed into, is CJ the guy? That's where it is for me. It's moved down to 2026. I got to figure out about this guy and make sure he's the quarterback for the Houston Texans to go where they want to go. I'm not thinking about his money. I'm not thinking about how much he pays. I hope he's awesome. I hope he wins the MVP next year. They got to pay him $1 gazillion. That'd be great. At least we know. We'd have a clear, defined decision about CJ Stroud. There's just so much, your favorite term, one of your favorite terms, gray area. There's so much gray area about CJ right now.
Well, the question is, like, what does he have to prove to be the guy? Like, does he have to prove that he's elite? Does he have to does he have to just be willing to accept what he is? Like, what does that look like? Because if you're sitting here saying, okay, I want him to win MVP, I want him to be elite, I think it's almost unfair expectations. Like, you look at Trevor Lawrence. I think CJ and him are kind of in the same ballpark right now. Lawrence is better. Like, Lawrence is a better player right now, and the arrow's pointing at least sideways for Lawrence. But like Trevor Lawrence's first year, and this is your point. I'm basically re-emphasizing your point. But like Trevor Lawrence's first year with Urban Meyer, when Urban Meyer was skipping team planes to like bump and grind with co-eds.
Yep.
Like we don't count that, right? Like when we talk about Trevor Lawrence, we don't count that year, rookie year. Like it was an anomaly. Like nobody's saying that Trevor Lawrence is elite, but that bad, that was tough. Where Urban Meyer comes in, it was a disaster.
Right.
I think that's kind of how we have to look at CJ Stroud's rookie year. We have to eliminate that. Look at the last 2 years. This is closer to what you're going to get, and maybe it gets better. But I don't think it gets back to 2023. If it does, awesome. I just would not bet on that.
I just feel like there's going to be multiple avenues to success for CJ Stroud. It's going to be how often is he a detriment? How often is he a positive? And then if he just ends up being a game manager, which is something we've talked about, okay, so be it. Be a high-level game manager. Don't mess some things up. I think there's multiple avenues to success for CJ. And then there's a very clear and I don't want to say at this point likely, but there's a very clear path to, okay, this isn't good enough. He's not the guy.
Well, the other thing is, and this is why this one hurts more for, I think, like the fan base, the day oneers, like any portion of the fan base. The reason this hurts more is because that's what you can control. Like we think that the defense is going to be elite. Are they going to be as healthy as they were last year? Or I mean, that they were on thin ice at linebacker and corner, and they were able to get through. They were a very healthy defense, and that allowed the superpower to be the superpower. On offense, it wasn't awesome, but they at least had a pathway to where the quarterback didn't have to be phenomenal. So now you look at it, and as Caserio said, the division's gotten better. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes were sitting at home watching you meltdown. So now all of a sudden those guys have chips on their shoulder and they're trying to bounce back. And you're not going to be in a situation where Drake May hasn't been battle tested and hasn't got over that hump. Like New England was going to be one of those teams that you wondered which direction they're going to go. Sometimes when you get over the hump, that's all it takes. Like Drake May can now hang his hat on, I have playoff experience. I'm battle tested. Same thing with Bo Nix, honestly. Same thing with Denver and New England, who, by the way, like the other excuse I've heard for CJ Stroud is, well, he's young. Okay, like if we're just talking years, that's fine. But these guys were drafted the year after him, and both of them are in the conference championship right now, and they have a lot more to work with, like as far as like from a financial perspective. So that's why it hurts even more, is because, dude, Jarrett Stidham was going to start against you in an AFC championship game. Like it was already going to be like almost like a coin toss game with Bo Nix. Jarrett Stidham was going to start against you in an AFC championship game. It's not going to be laid out that more. Like the Texans can have a better team next year and they can have a worse record. It happens, right?
That's absolutely. But that's why you have to be very careful about what you expect out of CJ as acceptable, because it's not going to be laid out. You are going to have to, and more than likely, go toe-to-toe with some really good quarterbacks at some point. And you can't just always rely on the defense and hope that they're going to make it happen. You're going to need your quarterback to go out there and have some really good moments from time to time. And I'm not dismissing that you're going to ask more out of him. It's just how he performs when you get those things out. When you do ask those things, that's going to be my big determining factor, because there's 25 quarterbacks that can go out there and win a bunch of the games that CJ won. How many quarterbacks could have won the Baltimore game this year? Half the league, maybe more, like easily more. Like how many teams could have gone and won against the Titans when CJ played them? A lot of guys. How many guys could have won that 49ers game? A lot of guys. He didn't win against better competition. He didn't beat the Rams. He didn't beat the Seahawks. He looked horrible in that one. He got to New England in the back part of the season. He didn't look good against Pittsburgh. He had a tough game after 2 drives against the Chargers. Like, you're going to need more out of him. Like, I understand adjusting expectations, but you can't just take away what's going to get asked of the quarterback position.
Yeah. If you look at the stats, he had 21 total touchdowns this year, 8 of them against playoff teams. He had 13 interceptions, 12 of them were against playoff teams. So the competition, the more the competition does increase, the worse he was. I also thought it was kind of poetic with CJ Stroud and what happened to Denver and what happened to the Texans. And I was actually kind of proactively making notes like if scenarios before the game, like, okay, if CJ Stroud faces, if he beats May, the theme for me would have been don't let him skip the line.
Right.
Like, don't let the quarterback who was drafted after you skip the line. And with Nix, my theme was going to be polar opposites. I think that Bo Nix lacks talent, but I think his intangibles are elite.
Okay.
And I think that CJ Stroud has elite talent and his intangibles suck.
That's fair.
And you look at the fact that both of those guys are not playing in this game. Bo Nix left it all out there and was able to will his team in gutsy fashion.
Right.
And CJ Stroud wet the bed when it mattered most. So I think that's kind of where you're at when it comes to Bo Nix and CJ Stroud. And I think a lot of times when you talk about you're going to pay this guy this much, I think a lot of times talent overweighs like intangibles. And I think like when it comes to production, I think Bo Nix and CJ Stroud are actually pretty similar the last 2 years. They have as many playoff wins, like they have the same amount. Bo Nix's stats in the playoffs are better. But CJ Stroud is looked at more so as like this guy could be this, and Bo Nix, it's never even a possibility no matter what he did. Like if Bo Nix went and won a Super Bowl, people would say, yeah, Bo Nix belongs in like the push him back. He's not in the $50 million range. So I think if you just kind of meet in the middle there and CJ Stroud improves what he needs to improve, then maybe you get to that level. But I do think it was kind of poetic in the way that ended.
I think Denver did a good job for a lot of the season quarterback proofing. And then when they needed stuff out of Bo Nix, he made enough plays. That's what you got to hope the next season is for the Texans. Like, get it as quarterback proof as you can and hope that when you ask something out of the quarterback, he's able to deliver it. And he wasn't able to deliver it against New England, 5 days ago, 6 days ago, whatever it is.
Gustavo on the chat says, y'all buy my boy Leo a drink if he's there. Keep up the great stuff, fellas. Here for the off season. Let's go get Hunter to stuff up this interior D line.
He means Lee Hunter, the Texas Tech defensive tackle. Big 300-plus pounder. Be nice. Wouldn't hurt my feelings.
D'Amico would love him.
Yes, absolutely.
D'Amico, if you ever listen to D'Amico talk about D tackles that have been drafted in the last 3 years, like he has in-depth scouting reports on them.
Oh, yeah.
Like I feel like he's wanted one for a long time, and this year he might actually need one.
I don't know if it's been pretty rare to have him. It's been pretty rare to have him be as verbose and positive about an opposing defender as he was about Byron Murphy ahead of the Seahawks game.
I would say Jeffrey Simmons was up there.
Sure.
I would say that you're right.
Yeah, I mean, those two stick out the most. Like he had a lot of praise for both those guys.
Bo says, Cody told me I was bringing bad energy by saying this before, but CJ doesn't have the processing capabilities to adapt to the NFL game. Defenses have to have the book on and move on.
Bo's ready to cut the cord now. He's ready to say.
So what does he want? Like Mills to start?
See you later. I guess. I mean, I suppose if you thought CJ had slow processing, you'd be okay with Mills. I do wonder if those S2 guys want some apologies.
No, I never understood it. I never put a lot of stock into it. I never went against it. I thought it was weird that in the playoffs they completely backed off, but I don't think they were trying to make CJ have a bad score with whatever it was, but I don't know what the test was, so I didn't put a lot of stock into it.
Sure.
Can just talk about what's going on with them. So let's talk about what went right.
What went right for the Houston Texans in 2025?
Defense, I would say, for sure. I would say that Jalen Petrie justified their belief in him. I will say that we were wrong about that contract extension. Jalen Petrie did his thing. That,
to me, is one of the biggest elements of what went right for the defense, is because not only did Petrie play really well, he played as well to the point where you and I were both ended up on the wrong side of the contract conversation. And the biggest weakness from his game that we were worried about was not a huge glaring issue throughout the course of the entire season. I'm not going to sit here and act like he didn't get beat a couple times, but his coverage was much better in 2025 than it was in 2024.
He's also pretty much a third linebacker at this point.
Yes.
So it's basic. It's on a curve when it comes to coverage. Like a lot of times you look at him almost like in between Bullock and Reed, but at this point, he and To'o and Aziz, at this point, he's just a linebacker, and he's a good linebacker. But they need linebacker depth.
Yeah, I mean they use him basically as a linebacker that has a little bit more coverage ability than your typical linebacker.
Tommy Togiai, I don't think you can mention what went right without saying Tommy Togiai. Good God, what would he have gotten on the market? I don't know what the contract situation would have been, how it would have been handled. Like maybe there's like something more to it, like he would have been under club control, but my goodness, they don't have to worry about paying Tommy Togiai, and they gave him an extension in the middle of the season. He doesn't care.
They gave him an extension before the season started.
Yeah, and he's happy to be here, and he's one of the best players on the defense. Period. Point blank. End of story. He's one of the best players on the defense.
I don't think it's crazy to think he could have gotten close to like $10 million, like sort of in the Poona Ford range. Like he had a great body of work this year when they finally played him, but he's not going anywhere. He's locked up for next year. So great job, Nick Caserio, to go to that early, get that locked up.
Well, the other thing is that given how thin the position is, like you can make a case that his value is insane.
They have two defensive tackles who actually played this season under contract. They have Tommy Togiai, and they have Mario Edwards Jr. And I would think they might move on from Mario Edwards.
Yeah, he's done.
Might move on from him. And obviously Keontae.
Tim Settle's gone.
Tim Settle's a free agent.
He's gone.
Sheldon Rankins is a free agent again.
That they got to figure that out. That's a 1-year deal maybe, but you still got to be willing to bring someone in.
Oh, for sure. I would try to add some long-term solution at defensive tackle via a rookie, and then I'd also bring in a veteran to play right away with Togiai and whoever else you keep from a veteran standpoint.
Kamari Lassiter developing into an elite corner. I think that was a very big positive. Like I know Derek Stingley's the man, but I think Kamari Lassiter, as far as being an elite corner, I'm not going to sit here and like power rank my top 15 corners, but I don't know.
I'd like that. Can you power rank them for me real quick?
I mean, I could if you would like. Kamari Lassiter would be mentioned within 10 to 15.
Sure.
As far as being a total corner. He's the perfect complement to Derek Stingley. He's the perfect complement to what they want. Kamari Lassiter is beyond a positive. You already knew he was a good ball player. He's even better than we'd expected.
I think back to that day in West Virginia, and it was scrimmage day. It was the last day that they had like a real practice in West Virginia, and he was by far the best player on the field that day. And it was like, okay, like he may have even more. He was good last year and great for a rookie last year, and then he was just awesome from the word go this season. And so that was a huge element. And I think we even had the discussion at one point in the season is like, whoa, down the road, you're going to have to pay both these cornerbacks. Can you afford that? Can you figure that out? Like, I think we even went down that road. But yeah, Kamari being awesome, that was huge for this defense.
And then I think there's his best friend. I think getting rid of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, first of all, he sucked here. He wasn't good, and he was very annoying.
It's true. This is true.
Very annoying. If you had to walk through those halls, it was very annoying. But I also think that Kalen Bullock, after a really good camp, was kind of in a funk being by C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I just don't think he ever really like because he was a top 5 player in camp. Bullock.
Yes, he was awesome.
I mean, he was incredible. And then in the regular season, he kind of just didn't look as confident, didn't look himself. And as soon as they got rid of C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Kalen Bullock, he's Pro Bowl caliber. Like, they have 7 players on defense that are Pro Bowl caliber that are all back next year. Mm-hmm. They have 7. Tommy Togiai, Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, Derek Stingley, Kalen Bullock, Aziz Al-Shire, and Lassiter. Lassiter, yeah.
Kamari Lassiter.
I put Bullock and Seth Lassiter. They have 7. They literally have 7, and I'm using that loosely. Like, if this is like a real dark horse, but Henry To'o is everything that you would.
Come on.
I'm just saying.
Come on.
He's everything that you want in a football player, and he's improved from year 1 to year 2. He's improved from year 2 to year 3. He's not asked to do a lot, and if Henry To'oTo'o, like, it stacks up tackles or something like that, let me put it this way. If Henry To'oTo'o makes a jump from year 3 to year 4, like he did from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, what does that look like?
I mean, you got a dynamite linebacker duo to go along with Petrie as your sort of linebacker, so to speak.
I didn't even mention Petrie. You might have 8. You might have 8 or 9. Yeah, Petrie. So 8 or 9, like 8 or 9 of your 11 that are under contract on defense, Pro Bowl caliber.
And here's another element of it too. How good could that other safety look if it's one person all year long and it's not 5 different guys? Like, you could have, like, if they went and signed a free agent safety to play and that guy played well next to Bullock, and you could have another Pro Bowler.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, you can, if you look at the extra picks they have, like, let's say that they find a situation where there's, like, the best linebacker in the draft is available at 35 or whatever the Washington pick is.
Right.
Or a D tackle that they like is there. You can make your defense even better. And they're doing that. Like that, like D'Amico's doing that. D'Amico's not holding off on drafting a DT much longer.
No.
So, like, they can make that defense even better. But, yeah, I said 7. I was actually being very conservative, like 7 to 8. And then
potential for more.
Yeah, when it comes to the defense. So, on defense, what went right? Pretty much everything.
Aziz went right, too. There was a hope that he was going to be even a little bit better. The coverage was better this year. And he was more healthy than he was a year ago. So that went right as well. Aziz was a good one. And I think, you just laid out the Henry case. He was better than he was last year. He had some moments that I'm sure he wants back. There were some tough moments, but he was better than he was last year overall. And he played more. He was healthier than he was a year ago. So that went right. Are we missing anything on defense here?
I don't think so. Jalen Smith didn't go right because he got hurt, but I think he could be he's an interesting piece next year, because when you talk about cornerback depth, it's naturally there waiting for you. Like, it's a guy that you believed in.
Right. They have a body in the building already for it.
Now, I'll be completely honest with you. I don't look at Jalen Smith and say I 100% know that this guy's a good player. Like, and I think it's dangerous to assume, like, when we saw Jared Patterson get hurt rookie year or whatever, like, when you kind of like, okay, he's good, but how good? They trusted Jalen Smith, and they have a good track record of trusting defensive guys, but I don't know if Jalen Smith is a good player yet.
The thing I would say, though, is it's at least a road you're willing to explore, so it's not anything you need to
correct.
Like, it's one less thing that you have to spend an asset on.
Correct.
Because remember, last offseason, all the different things that they wanted to do, they just ran out of assets to address certain things. Like, they never addressed tight end, but because they had so many other things that they had to address. And it's not like they have a short list going into this offseason. So to at least have Jalen Smith as a guy that you want to find out about, that's one less asset you need to use for cornerback depth.
Now, do we want to go to the offensive side of the ball?
Can we go to special teams first?
We can. We'll start at special teams, and then we'll get to offense. First, read St. Louis Rebel. Shout out to you, my friend.
St. Louis Rebel, very generous on the super chat. We appreciate it. He said, just wanted to show some love because I don't know how y'all do it. It takes a lot to do this show after the Texans loss. I'm still numb and depressed over the loss. I still can't believe we lost. I hate CJ with a passion.
Oh, wow.
And then he put the sad smiley emoji.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to do. It's fun to do. It is what it is. I feel the pain, though. I feel the pain.
I'm never going to tell you that I'm excited when the offseason gets here, but eventually elements of the offseason get very exciting. So we'll be here for the whole ride, the whole thing.
I just didn't want it to be like a Mike Jones thing, but it does feel kind of Mike Jonesy with this offseason.
Explain that to me.
You're repeating yourself, man. Like, it's going to be trying to get to the AFC Championship game for the first time. CJ Stroud proving himself. Like, it does feel like it's kind of like a lot. There's a lot of similarities. There's differences, but there are like kind of similarities.
I mean, they still need to work on the offensive line. They still need running back help. We still don't fully know exactly what the quarterback is.
Yeah.
The wide receiver room's pretty well put together. I'd like a couple more bodies in there, but, it's pretty well put together.
St. Louis Rebel, much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you very
for
much. Very generous.
It's
Thank
very
you.
cold in St. Louis, by the way. We're complaining about cold. It's very cold out there, I'm sure.
I can't even imagine. Doyle, who's in the chat sometimes, he's up in the Dakotas.
Yeah, he's always bragging
minus
about
30. Minus 30.
Yeah, no thanks.
I think that would kill you.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so special teams, what went well for the Texans? You didn't want to go straight to the offense. Special teams, what went well?
Kaimi. I mean, he was better this year than he was last year.
Yeah, Fairbairn was great.
Kaimi.
I think that Jalen Knoll has shown signs of being an electric punt return guy moving forward. Need him to be a good receiver. And need him to actually make some bigger plays in special teams, but I would say that worked.
Yes, Knoll is a positive from the season. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's about it.
That's probably about it on well, the coverage unit was good. It had a couple of hiccups in the middle of the season.
Jacksonville.
And the games around there, they were a little iffy, but Jamal Hill ended up having some big hits. British Brooks had some big hits. They had some nice moments in the coverage unit. I think statistically they ended up with one of the better forced starting positions for opponents. So that went right for the most part.
Okay, let's move on from special teams.
All right, to the offense.
Now,
can we go position by position on the offense?
We can, but here's my thing on the offense. I think I want to take one thing and say this is a good long-term, and by long-term I mean into next season thing. Because I think a lot of the good things that happen on offense were literally short-term fixes. There was a lot of duct tape. There was a lot of duct tape. There was a lot of nice, solid, the best glue you can get things. But there was also a lot of duct tape that kept this thing together.
The 2025 Houston Texans offense, Gorilla Glue and duct tape.
Yes, and a lot of duct tape.
A lot of duct tape.
That doesn't matter. When they talk year-to-year league, I think there's positive, and then I think there's negative. From a positive perspective, I would say that I'm excited about the entire draft class that they had, specifically on day 2 on offense. I think the year after you got Lassiter and Bullock, I think the fact that you were able to get Higgins, Knoll, Ursery, and Woody, although Woody Marks was a day 3, right. But the fact you were able to get all those guys that might not be the same role, but I would say that the arrow is pointing up for those guys being productive players. Ursery could easily be your tackle of the future.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I think getting rid of Laramie Tunsil was a good move. We were always on board with that. We were never Tunsil guys.
Right.
Woody Marks, you might need more of a bell cow, but he's a very, very good back. He's very tough. And I actually think this year Woody Marks was asked to do more than he probably should be asked to do.
Correct.
And I think it gets held against him because he fumbled in the AFC Championship game. But they drafted Woody Marks to be a receiving running back. They didn't draft Woody Marks to run up the middle of the defense 25 times a game and get his butt whooped the entire time.
Yeah.
He was willing to do it, and he did better than we probably expected. And eventually he made a mistake in which he said he let the team down. That's a young man saying he let the team down.
Right.
Woody Marks is a solid football player, and he's got the makeup that you want.
Yeah, the offensive mid-round draft picks, thumbs up for me on all of them.
Jalen Knoll, I think Jalen Knoll replaces Christian Kirk. And quite frankly, that's not a high bar.
That's
300 yards.
That's
so you just take Jalen Knoll, you put him in Christian Kirk's role. Maybe he flips the switch. There's upside. Christian Kirk had 300 yards in the regular season. I know we have a recency bias with the playoffs, but
I don't.
Okay, well, Jalen Knoll is a good player too. So I think on offense that went right. I think they did a good job with what they had to work, and I think Higgins is going to be really good.
I do too. I'm pretty excited to see what Jaden Higgins is going to do with it.
I think Higgins is an 8 to 11 touchdown guy next year. I do.
Okay.
He had 6 this year.
Didn't he? 8 to 11's an easy projection to see. Yeah, you can easily see that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think Caserio too. He sort of hinted that they did not use Knoll as much as they could have, and they will use him more.
Oh, wow. Who would have ever thought of that?
And they will use him more.
God, that sounds like me week 2.
Yeah, it's amazing that we all saw this, but they decided somehow, some way to not figure out how to remedy it. But yes, he hinted that they're going to use him a lot more and have him more involved. And I feel like that's a pretty easy path to see. He's Christian Kirk, and he gets Kirk snaps, and it's much better.
Patrick says contract to your Tank, question mark.
I don't think so.
Poor Tank, man. Like, I feel bad because I love Tank Dell, but I feel like the expectations for Tank Dell are like people think they're supporting him, but you're actually doing a disservice to the young man. Like,
I was told by Alpha Aaron that he was going to make a full recovery.
Okay.
I was told that he was going to make a full recovery, Landry.
So Tank Dell had an injury in Kansas City. Tank Dell,
he's going to be fully recovered.
Just to be serious.
Okay.
Tank Dell had a injury in Kansas City, or a couple of injuries in Kansas City, that would make you naturally miss the entire next season.
Correct.
On top of that, he had a bone go through his skin to where they had to figure that out.
Yep.
So he had literally the season-ending injury that Cecil Shorts had, or career-ending, excuse me.
Right.
And he had a bone go through his leg. On top of that.
Right.
That's why like CJ, it might have been a little dramatic, but it was disgusting to see.
Correct.
Like, it was almost like seeing something you don't want to see. Before that, I know that he was having a good game against the Chiefs. He was actually having a worse year than Christian Kirk had this year. And you know why? It was because he was coming back from another season-ending injury the year before.
Yes.
So he had a season-ending injury the year before. He went ahead of schedule. He wasn't playing well. He played good against Kansas City. And then he had the injury and he had the bone go through his knee. I'm not saying this to like be unfair to Tank Dell. I'm rooting for Tank Dell. But I think if you're like expecting Tank Dell to go out there and be like, oh, he's going to be what he was his rookie season. He wasn't that before he got hurt. Like, there was trouble there. I've said this and I'm going to maintain this. If Tank Dell goes out there, stretches before practice, and participates in a practice, that's further along than anyone could possibly be.
Right.
So, like, lower the expectations for Tank Dell because it's almost unfair. If he surpasses them, that's fine. But the kid's been through a heck of a lot.
I'm thinking he's going to save CJ's career and have about 80 catches for about 1,200.
All right, you're not making this any better. Okay? Anyway.
Yeah, he's going to save CJ. That's what CJ's missing right now is his buddy Tank Dell. He's going to save CJ. That's what's going to happen.
All right, so we go to what went well for offense, the short-term fixes. I'll let you lay these out. Like, there's some stuff that went well for you in 2025 that I don't think you can count on in 2026. I want you to lay that out.
I mean, the most obvious one's probably going to be Trent Brown.
Miracle right there.
I mean, Trent Brown locked down the right tackle spot. Nick Caserio said the other day, we knew when Trent was going to be healthy, he could play. It's like, okay, but I don't think that was like your plan. I think it ended up being an option for you, but I don't think when in March and April when they were putting together a new offensive line, they thought, yeah, Trent's knee will be fine. He'll play. I don't think that's necessary. But
do you bring him back on like a 1-year deal? If he was going to sign the same deal that he did this year, run it back. Actually, I'll give him a raise. I'll give him Laken Tomlinson's deal. Because no, I'm serious. Trent Brown's was up to $3 million. Trent Brown was up to $3 million. Laken's was up to $5 million. I'll give you Laken Tomlinson's deal, and we'll see what happens. Up to $5 million.
Trent Brown up to $5 million for a potential backup tackle or your starting right tackle. Sure. And if you knew you had him in the building, you could operate a little bit differently in the draft and maybe get a project right tackle of the future. So, yeah, but Trent Brown felt like a short-term solution, and betting on that for next year would be a precarious decision. I think Ed Ingram was probably a short-term solution. I don't anticipate that they're going to pay Ed Ingram. And the next Ed Ingram is what I would look for on the offensive line if I was trying to add somebody with some playing experience. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, Ed Ingram. Find the next Ed Ingram. Find the next Ed Ingram. Don't pay Ed Ingram 8 figures. Find the next Ed Ingram.
I feel like there's a decent chance that Andrews was only the starter in 2025 because Cole Popovich liked him, knew him, and knew he could get done what they needed out of the center position. I'd have somebody.
I don't know, man. Caserio said he was hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
But Caserio giving him like an excuse for the play. was
Jake
kind of
never-
like it feels like he's part of their long term, and that's our boy. But I mean, God, you got to do better than that.
I would find somebody to challenge him, be it a rookie or a veteran. I'd find somebody to challenge him. Obviously, Patterson's not a challenge for him. He beat Patterson out.
Well, he actually laid out. Patterson's like a 5th or 6th lineman, like a swing guy.
Right. So I think he said 6th or 7th is what he said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overrated him.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'd be interested to find out if Jake is a long-term solution or was just a 2025 solution. How they operate will kind of tell us how they feel about him. And then I would like the Titus moving to have been a 2025 thing only. I'd like Titus to play one position next year. I understand that they needed him to do multiple things, but I'd like for them to pick a spot for Titus Howard and play him at that spot for 17 games.
I think his versatility is what his value is, though. Like, I don't think he's really great at either spot. I think his versatility is what his value is at this point.
But I would think that there's a chance that he plays better if he just knows he's only playing one spot.
I don't know. Like, I don't know about that. Which spot would you pick? Like, do you think he's tackle?
I'd play him at right guard. I'd have him replace Ed Ingram, and I'd find a new left guard, and I'd find a new right tackle.
Okay.
And I'd have Trent in the equation.
Okay.
Is that a bad plan?
I get.
It's not a bad plan. I think that's a very good plan.
It's a fine plan.
What's your plan?
Still gotta draft
why don't you come up with a better plan?
I really don't have one
They
when
did
it comes to the O-line.
sign City Soto a reserve contract in the future.
Why?
That's a good question. I don't know.
If a guy couldn't give you 5 snaps, why is he still here?
No, he gave you 5. He couldn't give you 6.
Did he really give you 5 though?
Oh, he was there. He was there. He gave you 5. He might have been very generous to the other team in those 5 snaps, but he gave you 5.
What about Dalton Schultz? I think we can all agree it went well this year. What's the?
I had pretty low expectations for Dalton Schultz. I hoped that he would be better than 2024's Dalton Schultz, but I was dubious that he was going to be as good as he ended up being. There were some stretches of the season where he was essential to the offense. Like, you had to have Schultz to succeed in a couple of these spots. So I feel like that was a really good season from him, based on he was damn near unplayable in 2024 at the end.
Do you think that that's something you bring back? Like, is Dalton Schultz back?
Can I make it a pseudo contract year again? Can I get him a little extra money and make it a fake contract year?
Does the final year of the deal just kind of get looked at as like a franchise tag of some sort?
I would think that Schultz's contract is one of those where you're going to try to make some sort of adjustment to it to free up space to go do other stuff.
When do you think
he's not playing at a $16 million cap hit?
When do you think Sadiq goes in the draft?
I think right now, if you're thinking about where
from Oregon, it's the Oregon tight end.
Where the Oregon tight end Kenyon Sadiq goes, right now, a lot of people are going to have him in the late teens and 20s. He's going in the top 15.
I've heard him top 10.
He's going in the top 15. He will not get past 15.
Yeah, because the problem with him when it comes to like him sliding is that it's very, very known that he likes to block.
He may not get past number 9. That's the Kansas City Chiefs. They go from Travis Kelce to Kenyon Sadiq.
And just let him learn under.
Just let him learn under Kelce for 1 year. But he is not getting past 15, 16. So, and he's going to be a freak at the combine. He's going to run fast. He's going to jump high. And then people are going to look at all that, and they're not going to see quite the offensive overall numeric production. But then the scouts are going to go watch, and he's a freak athlete, and he's tough, and he blocks hard, and he's going to be a favorite of every scout across the league. So don't pre-order your Kenyon Sadiq Texans jersey. It ain't happening.
Anything else that went right for the Texans in 2025 on offense? Mills
Mills, yeah, backup quarterback.
Yeah, Mills, you locked him up. You got good insurance this year.
Yeah.
You got premium insurance with Davis Mills. He won. He was 2-0 against playoff teams. CJ Stroud was 2-5, by the way. But yeah, 2-0 against playoff teams.
Who are we giving the Denver loss to?
I just didn't count it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just did. Yeah, I'm
okay.
fair.
Okay.
I just didn't count it.
Okay.
Because technically they would count that against CJ because he started, but I didn't even count it.
Yeah. Okay. That's
yeah.
fair.
So their overall record against playoff teams was 4-6.
Yes.
But CJ was 2-5 and Mills was 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
Beat the Jaguars. Big comeback. One of the best moments of the season. Beat the Bills. Also one of the best moments of the season. I mean,
minus the second half of offense. Good Lord.
Well, it was fun watching the defense give Josh Allen hell again.
God.
It was fun. Is there anything else we're missing on offense? Something. We're missing something. Oh, Xavier Hutchinson. As a depth wide receiver.
He improved.
Xavier Hutchinson, it went right for him.
He was a good player in camp, too.
Yes. He actually had some
out.
really nice days in camp. But yeah. And I think that's about it. I was going to say, and I was going to try to, maybe you found something out about CJ, but not really. No, not really. All right, so we covered it pretty well, what went right. We spent a lot this week talking about what went wrong. So what went right? It's a pretty good summarization.
Yeah, I like it. So I want to, I was talking about this before the show. And right now the Texans, you have that tankathon in front of you. They made the trade with the Giants, and as a result, they have their third-round pick, which was...
The Giants pick that the Texans have is the 69th overall pick.
And they traded the Texans last year. They had the 25th overall pick in the draft. They traded back. They got the Giants' 34th pick. I'm putting the graphic up on the screen. They had the Giants' 34th pick, and then they got the Giants' 99th pick, and then a 2026 third.
Correct.
The very next pick, the Rams traded with the Atlanta Falcons. They got the 46th pick, so they traded back 20 spots compared to the Texans trading back 9.
Okay.
They got pick 242. Texans got 99. And they also got a first-round pick this year.
Correct.
Which is the 13th overall pick.
Right.
Now, you look at this and you say, well, the Texans didn't get a lot, but it does have to be factored in. If the Texans do the Rams pick, they don't get Higgins.
Correct. Jaden Higgins is probably the player that gets sacrificed in that trade back if you take the Rams deal.
So they don't get Higgins. I'm assuming that they probably just take Ursery and then we figure out.
I would think they still make the move up for Ursery. They seem to be pretty enamored with him.
So I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you the three-part question. I'm going to give you a time machine. You're going to go back to when the Texans are on the clock, and I want you to tell me, are you going to do choice 1, where you do what the Texans did?
Okay.
Are you going to do choice 2 with what the Rams did, and you get the 13th overall pick? Maybe don't get Higgins. Are you going to do choice 3, given what we've said about the quarterback, and take Jackson Dart?
Golly. I get to go back in time with everything I know.
With everything you know, and you have Jackson Dart on a rookie deal. He has concussion issues because he's a little bit stubborn. But you either get you can take the Atlanta deal, you can take your deal, or you can just take Jackson Dart, and you already have like a CJ Stroud potential replacement. Where, keep in mind, you're not asking him to do a lot. He's gonna move. He's gonna use his legs and move the ball. Very, very coachable kid. What are you doing?
Man, it's knowing where the Rams pick that they got from Atlanta ends up. It's tough to not go down the Rams path.
So you have the 13th overall pick, and then
you don't have Jaden Higgins.
You don't have Jaden Higgins, but what you have is, if you have the 13th pick, you have the possibility of getting to surround CJ with better talent, Sadiq or Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. So you get you perhaps get the best running back and you get the best tight end.
But I'm
either or.
But I'm probably still looking for a wide receiver too at some point though, because I don't have Higgins.
You're probably just hoping Noel and
the guy that they literally wouldn't put on the field is going to be wide receiver too.
Well, the other problem might be, and this is where we're kind of looking at it, is now on one hand, if you didn't have Higgins, then you're relying on Kirk more. which means, God, that might suck in the regular season. And then maybe you're relying more on Knoll.
So Kirk maybe outside more, which gets you more Knoll in the slot. So really it's Higgins or a first-round pick or Jackson Dart.
Yes.
Jeez.
I thought you would have like a sure answer on this. I didn't know I was going to stump you on this.
Give me Higgins. I like Jaden Higgins.
So you're taking the move that they made.
I like Jaden Higgins. I'm taking the move they made.
Okay.
Because
I don't think there's a wrong answer to this. I really, really don't think there's a wrong answer to this.
I am closer to QB proofing the team with Higgins this upcoming season than I am without Higgins and the 13th overall pick.
Okay.
Because you mentioned Love, you mentioned Sadiq. I can't guarantee those guys are there at 13. They might be gone. And then what am I drafting? Some defensive tackle? I'd probably just drafted a right tackle, actually, at 13 if I had that. Just draft the kid out of Utah. It's Fano.
Now, this is a time machine. This is a time machine hypothetical, so no one's going to sit here and say, now, I think people can sit here and say they should have taken the Atlanta deal.
Sure.
I don't think hindsight's 20/20 there.
Without even knowing who you ended up selecting,
yes,
the Atlanta deal was a more.
There are a lot of draft nerds upset with that, so that's not hindsight. The Jackson Dart is like 100,000 million trillion % hindsight.
Correct.
But it's just an opportunity, and it's kind of like a discussion. But I don't think there's a wrong answer. Because I think there is value if you know your defense is going to be elite. If you know that you're going to have to pay guys, I think a quarterback like Jackson Dart is actually perfect.
It's like a supernova for a few years before the brain issues catch up.
Especially given how good you are and how you're going to be drafting at the end of 20. If the value of like a guy like Jackson Dart who can give you 4 years plus or whatever and allow you to pay, you could pay Danielle Hunter again, like twice. You could pay Kamari Lassiter. You could pay Derek Stingley. You could do it all at the same time. I do think that value is pretty high, even more so than like a Higgins.
Sure.
But that's complete hindsight.
I'm sticking with Higgins. I like Jaden Higgins.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
I like Jaden Higgins.
But I will say this. If we are talking hindsight, and this is a completely different question, we'll get to you in a sec, Fort Worth guy. They should have gotten a second instead of a third from the Giants for some sort of QB tax.
There should have been additional value for the QB tax.
Yes, like when a team is trading up for a quarterback, there should be more value. So Caserio, I know that he doesn't use the chart a lot of times, and sometimes it plays off. But if you know a team's trading up for a quarterback, they should have 3 second rounders right now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. They should have gotten more. The QB tax should have been more expensive for the Giants, certainly.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
No doubt. That Fort Worth guy says, had to take a couple days off, but I'm back. I think Cal needs to hold a press conference and tell us who's to blame for CJ, Bill's ownership style.
He almost had me there for a second. He almost had me there. Nobody needs to. No Bills press conferences in this town anytime soon, please. That was awful. That was awful.
All right, so we've talked about. I'm looking at him up there on the screen. Look at that no-look pass right there, Matthew Stafford.
Oh, geez.
Wow, look at that. So the Rams, they went 5 years with Jared Goff, and then they traded Jared Goff because they couldn't reach that next level for Matthew Stafford, and they saved him from Detroit.
Right.
What if this is the start of the Bills being terrible?
Oh, boy.
And after 5 years of CJ Stroud, the Texans have to save Josh Allen from Buffalo. Or Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, we need the Bengals to be bad.
Dream no little dreams, I guess, Landry. Dream no little dreams. The hope's not a plan, though.
All right, Galloway.
Hope's not a plan.
All right, Gallo. So I want to give you a hypothetical. What if CJ Stroud comes up to the Texans right now and he says, I want a contract?
Okay. I would tell him that he has a contract.
But what if he said, I want the Baker Mayfield contract right now?
I would ask him, how am I supposed to do that?
I want to agree to the Baker Mayfield 3 years, 95, $100 million. Do you say yes?
No.
What?
I am not having.
Yes, you do.
I am not having.
Yes, you do. Let's not get carried away. We've been holding on this hope that he's like elite. If CJ Stroud comes to the realization that he is okay taking Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield money, you take that.
I am not having.
Take that. And you build a team around him. And thank you very much, sir.
I'm not.
We're not dependent on you. There you go. Thank you. And it actually might save him because it kind of shows like the level that you should evaluate him on. So 100,000%. If he wants the Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, let's go.
Nope. I'm not having any contract negotiations with CJ Stroud this offseason.
That's a good negotiation. That's leverage. That's leverage. If he's going to give me the 3 years, 115, 3 years, 100, as down as I am, thank you very much. Because that allows me, hey, Daniil Hunter, if I want to give you a 1-year deal after this year, okay. Kamari Lassiter, if I want to agree to a contract with you while Stingley's here, let's go. Kalen Bullock, you're going to be up. I can pay you. I will take that all day. I will take that anytime if CJ wants to do that.
No, I'm not giving him any contract this offseason.
Because I don't think CJ even thinks, well, I don't know what he thinks, but I don't think he even thinks that he's going to play himself into like this extreme Josh Allen type of contract.
I would not do that contract, and I don't believe CJ should do that contract either. You got to bet on yourself.
Okay.
Got to bet on yourself.
Okay, Flacco.
Got to bet on yourself.
CJ Flacco. What if CJ just flips the switch?
I mean, Caserio did mention better than John Elway. Elway went to the Super Bowl year 4. He lost. Maybe CJ wins.
But in that hindsight, was Baltimore smart to give Flacco the deal? Like they had no choice, but were they smart to do it?
Yeah, they probably thought he was going to keep doing that. They thought he was going to be awesome. Like that's why they gave him the deal.
I can't believe you wouldn't take the Baker deal. Like no. See, so if you wouldn't take that, then what are you hoping for?
I'm hoping that
that's just good business.
I'm hoping that in 2026, I fully find out exactly what he's worth. He's either off the team or he's paid like a franchise quarterback.
So he has to be off the team.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't you think if you give him that commitment and he accepts it, don't you think it kind of mentally helps him? Don't you think he needs all the mental help he can use?
Oh, so everybody could tell him that he made a bad deal?
Is it a bad deal or is it fair?
It's a bad deal for him. If he goes out there and plays well in 2026, he'd have been a very rich man. He made 2.5 times that.
There's a lot of talk of damaged goods.
You're bad business. You're bad business. Your team good business, but your CJ bad business.
I just think if we can get to that point, we can get there.
But if I was Nick Caserio and CJ Stroud's agent wanted to talk to me, we can talk about anything but giving CJ new money. We can talk about that fifth year option getting picked up, but we're not talking about any new money for CJ Stroud. That's it for me. Let's go see what 2026 holds.
All right, so this weekend, I feel like it should be like a frozen Houston weekend. Everyone should have already stocked up on steak, and we should be watching the Texans versus Denver. Not happening, though.
Not happening. The cold will come. The AFC Championship game is not coming.
So what are your localized conference championship odds?
I feel like you're rooting for Seattle or Denver if you're the Texans. And here's why. Because you are closer to having a quarterback situation that they have than a situation that the Rams and the Patriots have. You are closer to a quarterback that is good enough with a really good defense than MVP level quarterback play and enough on defense. So I think you're rooting for Denver or Seattle to get it done, because if they can get it done, you're close to being able to replicate their path.
Yeah, I don't know that it really matters. I just don't want the Patriots to win a Super Bowl. Like, that's really me. Like, I don't really care like what it looks like or anything like that. No, I just don't want the Patriots to win a Super Bowl. Honestly, and I think it also would be nice for CJ to watch Jared Stidham win a conference championship game against the team that he lost to.
That would be nice for him to watch.
Yeah, I think it would be like very enlightening. Like you see the guy go out there and win a conference championship game against a team that you lost to. And I want Stafford to get another one. I'm not sitting here thinking that deep. Like Sam Darnold at a Super Bowl just doesn't. I can't watch that. I'm sorry. So I got to go with that. I got to go with Stafford getting another.
So Rams versus Broncos.
Yes,
that's what you're going with.
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't that what the NFL? The NFL probably wants Patriots Rams, right?
For sure.
Yeah, Pats Rams.
Yeah, they want the East Coast, the West Coast. They want Stafford's, last or close to last hurrah.
When did Carlton Davis go in concussion protocol, by the way?
I guess after the game. I don't remember him leaving during the game.
He practiced Wednesday. How are they so good at concussion protocol there?
They cheat. We talked about this last week. They're cheaters.
But seriously, like their concussion protocol game is insane.
Do they have the best / worst neuro doctor in the league?
How do they do this?
I don't know. Well, you're the one that was every concussion's different last week.
It is, but dang, I didn't know that we were getting to another Wednesday practice.
I just
kind of lose some credibility there.
I think they got the right neuro doctor. Everybody else got the wrong one.
Do you have any thoughts on the Jim Irsay story? Speaking of doctors,
what is the Jim Irsay story?
All right, moving on. I guess his doctor's getting investigated.
Oh, he get Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes, but it wasn't like an injection thing. It was a lot of stock. Be careful. A lot of stock. Yeah, he had a lot of stock from like his scripts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thundercat Daddy. R.I.P. Jim Irsay. I love Jim Irsay. He says, so Cody doesn't want to buy the dip. He'd rather overpay CJ if he plays well.
Yeah, if he's worth $65 million, you're happy to pay it.
No, I would rather have paid him 30 before.
You're happy, but 30 and a very clear ceiling, or he's awesome next year and you pay him a huge amount of money. You're happy to pay the money.
That's bad business.
I don't think you're understanding the level of play that I would expect to then hand him a $65 million contract. Like he'd have to be very awesome. Very awesome.
Danny C says, I would be shocked if he plays well in 2026 and we get further in the playoffs. There's really no reason to have any expectations at this point. We just laid them out for you, the defense.
Danny, very pessimistic on the future.
MH Wheat Nation says, let's hope all of the pieces are back in 2025. No. They need some different pieces too.
All the important pieces are back.
Yeah, they are though.
Yeah.
They're not losing anything important.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about it.
Agreed.
So there we go. All right. So the TriStar show is next weekend.
Yep. I had some people email me. If you couldn't make it out to Spanky's today and you want TriStar tickets, I will mail them to you or find a way to get you the ticket on the day you want to go. Okay. So if you didn't make it out today, you didn't get your TriStar ticket, I will get you a ticket either in the mail or we'll figure something out. So just send me an email about that.
We'll also be giving away right now a couple of
meet and greets,
meet and greets, which include autographs, pictures.
Yep.
With Jeff Kitt and Calvin Murphy.
Yep.
Next week we'll be giving away the Charlie Sheen.
Yep. Be on the lookout for how you win that one
and others, and we have a couple of baseballs to give away.
Yeah, as
well. So there we go. We'll do that.
If you didn't make it out to Spanky's, not only you're missing out on great food, you're missing out on great stuff to win.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right. Appreciate everyone for rolling through. Sorry about the poor economics of Cody Stoots. He's that down on CJ. It's okay. I know a lot to people can feel the pain. He's not.
Let's tie an anchor to the spending of the Texans. Let's do that.
He's hurting. CJ hurt him very bad. Very bad. By the way, isn't it funny that now like national people are kind of seeing like kind of some of the silly stuff he says?
Yeah. I mean, it's not great for him, but
that's crazy.
You know, they're a couple extra eyeballs on Houston, and it didn't go too well.
All right. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for coming out to Spanky's.
We have another super chat. Nathan Palmer says, I would have felt a lot better if we ended up losing in the conference championship than where we are right now. I think you and me both, my friend.
Nathan, wise words. You're very correct about that.
There you go. So are you going for 2 buffalo chicken wraps?
No, I had the mac and cheese bites before, so I think I might do the wrap here after.
Might.
Hey, what time did you get here today? Were you on time today?
3.
Oh,